Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 17th February 2021. So let us see which are the important articles straight away. These are the important articles for mains purpose and for prelims purpose. We have segregated them. Let us take overview of these articles. For mains related articles on page number 8, editorial page, and page number 9, op-ed page. So first article, in telehealth, scaling up the Indian advantage. So here the article is providing a very good insights and analysis into the use of technology for ensuring health services to the people, especially during the COVID-19 period, where the people are not having the access to the healthcare services. The burden of COVID-19 has somehow reduced the healthcare services for other such diseases like TB or non-communicable diseases like cancer, heart diseases, right? So article is providing here the way forward that can be used as telehealth or telemedicine, we can say, or digital services, shared medical appointments. Okay, so we'll look from health for all perspective, governance perspective, health. GS2 paper. Then second article, freedom and security. So here the article is again discussing on editorial page. It is talking about the recent events that unfolded, the kind of let's say conflict between government and Twitter company, social media networking website, right? So how some of the accounts have been asked to suspend by the government, Twitter accounts, and one particular hashtag has been removed, asked to remove. So what are these legal provisions involved here? So we'll talk about those legal provisions as an additional information here, and at the same time how the arbitrariness to invoke section 69A of IT Act, which let's say provides the central government the powers to request the such social media companies or networking sites to remove all this content, okay, on the basis of certain grounds. So we will look into those provisions. Then third article, combating vaccine hesitancy. So from COVID-19 perspective, at the same time from ethics perspective here, what do you mean by vaccine hesitancy? Yes, already we have discussed similar kind of topics. Here the article is providing very good way forward, and in that way forward we have to understand how social influence and persuasion techniques can be helpful in reducing such kind of vaccine hesitancy in India. Okay, so we will talk about this from that perspective. Then from specifically prelims related articles, environment section, leopard population tracking gets new approach. So the new method has been developed to discern between the different types of leopards here, and because of let's say lack of technology earlier, it was very difficult to understand the leopard or let's say calculate the leopard population. Now with the new method developed here by scientists, it is going to be helpful. So here we will also talk about the basic information about Indian leopard. Okay, so what is IUCN status, what is it, Wildlife Protection Act, in which schedule it is included, at the same time the in which appendix it is included in CITES convention. Then Sri Lanka considering India's grant instead of China project. So earlier we talked about how Chinese projects, energy projects were to be installed, and the Sri Lankan government has given the go ahead for that those energy projects in 3 such islands which are very much located near to Indian boundary, or let's say Tamil Nadu state border in that region. So we will talk about that geography mapping part, which are these 3 islands, their location. And it is saying that now India has also provided the alternative proposal for development of such projects in that area for Chinese projects, okay, and the Sri Lankan government is considering now India's grant for such projects. Okay, so yes, we will look into that part from prelims perspective here, as well as IR, international relations. Yes, now one by one we will talk about these articles in detail. First article, in telehealth, scaling up the Indian advantage. So from GS to paper governance and health perspective, here we have to understand that how COVID-19 has impacted the access to healthcare services. Okay, so some important facts. For example, one of the survey that was conducted by WHO, World Health Organization, in 105 countries in July 2020, it showed that the essential services like immunization and antenatal care services and the child care services, among the others, were disrupted because of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so the lockdown period and how the healthcare infrastructure was overburdened by for the COVID-19 services, and the other services got impacted. Especially talking of COVID-19 impact in India, there are again some facts here. So, for example, in India, detection of tuberculosis cases was down by 50% in April to December 2020. So, you can mention such facts to support your arguments that surely the other healthcare services disrupted in last 1 year because of COVID-19 pandemic. Along with that, we can also talk about the non-communicable diseases like cancer and other such diseases, sugar, which requires continuous follow-ups and checkups, and they have been also affected because of COVID-19 disruption of healthcare services. At the same time, this COVID-19 has increased, or let's say somehow led to, it has highlighted the further increase in divide between rural areas and urban areas in terms of healthcare access. Okay, so pandemic has exacerbated inequalities. People living in rural and remote areas were further disadvantaged. Now, how technology can be used here in ensuring healthcare services to people? Right, so here the best example can be the government's telemedicine program or the scheme launched by the government, eSanjeevani. So, this eSanjeevani scheme, the government's eSanjeevani platform offers both provider to patient interaction and provider to provider interaction, where patients visit smartphone equipped community health care officers in rural health and wellness centers. These in turn connect to general practitioners and specialist doctors through hub and spoke model. So, this is how the eSanjeevani telemedicine model works, and this kind of model can be used for further increasing the digital technology or use of digital technology for more and more access to healthcare for those people who are not receiving it. And the best example, the demonstrated example is Arvind Eye Hospital in Puducherry that successfully trialed in person here shared medical appointments, SMS, shared medical appointments for patients with glaucoma. Okay, so glaucoma is disease that causes gradual irreversible blindness. So for particular, let's say, group of patients having this disease, shared medical appointments kind of concept here, the model is used, and the group of people who are, let's say, coming to rural health and wellness centers, community health centers, they are counseled together by the general practitioners and the healthcare service providers. Now, this is the unique technology, we can say that, and that can be augmented by the established eSanjeevani platform, so as to increase such kind of let's say healthcare services. Now, along with this eSanjeevani platform, what are the other such uses for shared medical appointments? Okay, so at present we know that the vaccine hesitancy, just now we talked about how vaccine hesitancy is going to make one of the, let's say, issue, the article that we are going to discuss after this on page number 9, op-ed page. So, vaccine hesitancy is growing day by day, and here the role played by doctors and healthcare workers is going to be very important, and shared medical appointments can be used to disseminate the right information by these healthcare workers and doctors, we can say, and they can convince these people to take vaccine or spread the right information, we can say, about vaccine efficiency. Okay, or to take vaccine. At the same time, training platforms such as ECHO, which train primary care providers in many states through an online platform, can accelerate adoption and should also guide implementers on how to gather data that can be used scientifically, validate this care model. So here we can say that though at present the healthcare workers may not be well equipped, well trained about these digital health services, however they can be trained. How they can be trained? With the help of this ECHO. ECHO is actually the private platform, we can say, but this is many states are employing this platform for training the primary healthcare providers for in terms of, we can say, digital technology. Okay, so this can be used here. So these are the advantages of shared medical, at the same time telemedicine, telehealth. And now we have to understand that WHO's global strategy on digital health has been adopted, and this is the call to action, providing roadmap for nations to rapidly expand digital health services. Now such kind of use of technology is going to let India move towards health for all, which is we will say that our target, and digital health is going to help here. So explain the role of digital technology. Here it can be telehealth, telemedicine, the term can be changing, in ensuring health for all in India, especially during COVID-19 period, pandemic. Okay, so try to attempt this question and take inputs from the discussion that just now we had, and you have this PDF with you. You can download this PDF. It is there in this video's link itself, so you can download that and use it as directly notes also. The next article, again on page number 8, editorial page, freedom and security. So the context of the article is recent tussle between the government and Twitter company. So what happened is, let me explain that the background again. So many Twitter handles, so we can say that, or the accounts of activists, journalists, they used to, let's say, spread one particular hashtag, and this was considered as a seditious hashtag and somehow harmful for harmony in the country and security of the nation. So the government asked this to remove the hashtag by the Twitter company. At the same time, it simultaneously asked to suspend the accounts of certain people, activists and journalists. Okay, so on the in the backdrop of this farmers protest that are going on in Delhi. Okay, so what happened is, initially the Twitter removed that hashtag and also suspended some of the accounts, but after some time it revoked that suspension by itself, and then the government somehow got, let's say, angry also, and provided notice to the company, sent notice to the company that why the action is not taken despite of the order by the government. That means they have not followed the law of the land. And the law here is, it is talking about the section 69A of IT Act 2000. Okay. However, there was meeting between the officials and officials of Twitter company and then the government, and somehow the matter was closed by, we can say, compromise. The government did not, let's say, further acted, and the Twitter company did not go to the court also. Okay. Now, why Twitter company revoked the suspension by itself? It said that there is no such malicious content of these, let's say, activists and on those platforms, and suspending their accounts affects the freedom of speech and expression. Okay. So this is the expression here given by, or the justification given by company. Now we have to understand that the reference that is given, the legal provision we can understand here is section 69A of IT Act 2000. Now what this section, particular section, says about is, the central government has powers to block the information or any website by its orders when it finds on certain grounds. We can say that it is has that power. For example, grounds like security of the country, harmony, peace and harmony, order in the country, okay, friendly relations with the foreign nations. So these are the provisions which are there, and it can order the digital intermediary to block any content on the grounds of such grounds, we can say. Okay, now we have to understand that the Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal case 2015, it struck down section 66A of this IT Act 2000. However, in that Shreya Singhal case, there was also let's say this particular section 69A was also there, let's say looking into constitutionality of this section. However, Supreme Court has upheld the constitutionality of this particular section 69A of IT Act. So we have to understand this section is giving wide powers with the government, and the government is using this powers in the arbitrary manner, and lack of transparency is there exercising the powers under section 69A of the IT Act. Okay, now what are these legal provisions, relevant legal provisions, whatever the discussions we have done now about IT Act. So this is the section 69A. It allows center to block public access to an intermediary in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of state, friendly relations, public order, preventing incitement to commission of any cognizable offense. Fine. Now, according to definition under section 2 of the IT Act, the intermediary includes telecom service provider, network service providers, internet service provider, or search engines, online payment sites, even let's say internet cafes also. All of them together are defined in this section as intermediary. Okay, and they have to comply with this section 69A of the IT Act. Now the other provisions, for example, section we can say, though the powers are there in section 69A of IT Act, how to implement them? So the procedure to do so is listed in Information Technology Rules 2019, procedure and safeguards for blocking of access to information by public. These rules of 2019, these rules are somehow, let's say, problematic. For example, the rule number 16 of IT blocking rules, which state that requests and complaints to block accounts must remain confidential, that has been repeatedly criticized for being unconstitutional. There is no transparency here. Specifically, it mentions that the grounds on which the requests have been made, they should not be made public. This necessary needs to remain confidential. So that's why these companies or intermediaries cannot reveal these grounds, requests and complaints. Okay. Now, some of the important judicial pronouncements regarding these provisions. So, now, in addition to that extra information, any request made for blocking by the government is sent to examining committee first, which then issues these direction to block. However, in case of emergency situation, such orders are passed by committee's chairperson first and then presented to committee. So emergency situation, first the consent is taken by the chairperson of the committee, and then committee discusses on that request. Okay, so this is the examining committee which examines this request of the government. Now, Shreya Singhal versus Union of India judgment 2015 of Supreme Court, it struck down the section 66A of IT Act, wherein we can say that various such offensive posts on social media networks, such let's say towards government or even towards minister or public officials, that has been struck down by the Supreme Court, and section 69A, which was also challenged in this particular case, was upheld by the court. It was upheld as constitutional. Okay, so that's why it continues to remain in force. It has been used by the government from time to time, and it is said that a government uses it in non-transparent manner and in arbitrary manner. The second important recent judgment is Anuradha Bhasin versus Union of India case, recently in terms of implementation of section 144 and communication blockade in Jammu Kashmir. Here the Supreme Court specifically made clear that the government should make it the reasons public. The government imposed restrictions on freedom of expression and assembly must be made available to the public and affected parties to enable challenges in court of law. Right. So after knowing the reasons, the people will be able to challenge those restrictions. Unless and until people do not know those restrictions, how they can file the case in the courts. Okay, that fundamental right of freedom of speech and expression have been curbed by the government. So in this manner, you need to know specific provisions, legal provisions related to this freedom of speech and expression, the row that is recently going on between various social media and networking sites, and how various accounts have been suspended of some of the journalists, some of the let's say newspaper companies also. So this is very important from GS2 paper, polity and governance part. Okay. Yes. Now moving on to next, combating vaccine hesitancy. Now vaccine hesitancy, as the name suggests, here recently we know that many such vaccines have been developed for COVID-19. Two vaccines, Covaxin and Covishield, have been given approval for emergency use in the country, in India. However, there has been many such misinformation and disinformation, will say, and people are not taking or have become hesitant to take such vaccine. Such kind of vaccine hesitancy has already been there in the country. For example, for polio vaccine or measles vaccine, wherein the people are afraid of taking those vaccines for their children also. So for COVID-19 also, such kind of vaccine hesitancy can be seen even among the healthcare workers and doctors also. Okay, so why this vaccine hesitancy is there? So what happens is, in times of uncertainty, people are particularly susceptible to misinformation due to intricate combination of cognitive, social and algorithmic biases, that is information overload and limited attention spans. Right. So because of such factors, at present we are saying the vaccine hesitancy for COVID-19, and debates around the hesitancy for COVID-19 vaccines include concerns over safety, efficacy and side effects due to record-breaking timelines of vaccines, competition among the several companies, misinformation, religious taboos. All these things are contributing to vaccine hesitancy for COVID-19 disease. Okay. Now, what should be effective way forward here? So, from ethical perspective, we have to understand that each and every person has, let's say, attitude that is created, and attitude has different we can say parts. The three important parts that is called as ABC of attitude: affect, behavior and cognition. This cognition part, which is the knowledge based part. So whenever there is misinformation among the people, this cognitive bias is affected for attitude building here, right? So here the cognition should be deliberately, let's say, affected for with the right kind of information, and for that purpose the idea of libertarian paternalism should be used, a concept of behavioral science which says that it is possible and legitimate to steer people's behavior towards vaccination while still respecting their freedom of choice. So the concept is important, libertarian paternalism, and the target audience must be swing population. Now what do you mean by swing population? The people who are at present hesitant or skeptical, but through certain right kind of, let's say, campaign, communication campaign, education campaign, information campaign, they can be, let's say, their attitude can be changed. That is called as swing population. They can be persuaded through scientific facts and proper communication. So focus should be on those people here first. And The third important factor you can say here, that promotion of scientific temper and spirit of inquiry among the people. For example, whatever the information generally people receive on social media, that should be verified. There should be, let's say, a right amount of pause and time should be given for thinking on that particular information, and then it should be forwarded after verification. So such kind of scientific temper, spirit of inquiry, which is a fundamental duty under Indian Constitution for each and every citizen of India, Article 51A. Okay, so this is one of the aspect. And lastly, use of celebrity effect. Celebrity effect, the ability of prominent personalities to influence other on taking vaccines. So we can understand that this is the one of the tool, we will say that, of social influence and persuasion. So persuasion tools and techniques. And one of them is, we can say that, the role modeling. So who are these role models? In one of them is, we can say that, actors, celebrities, right? So these celebrities, actors, and others will be like leaders, political leaders, spiritual leaders, religious gurus. All these are actually, we can say that these are prominent personalities. They can influence other common people to take vaccine. Role modeling. The second important, let's say, tool and technique is IEC campaign. Information, education, communication. Effective communication is very important, let's say, persuasion tool. And like nudge theory. So nudge theory, here deliberately changing the behavior of the people through this nudging the behavior, constantly making people know about certain things, pressing them that vaccine is efficient, vaccine is effective, you need to take vaccine, all these things. This is called as nudging the behavior. So it can be done through advertisement, the influential people continuously talking about vaccine, taking vaccine and its efficacy, right? So nudge theory is important. So all these persuasion techniques can be used here in addition to this celebrity effect. Okay, so such kind of question we can expect. What do you understand by vaccine hesitancy? Explain how social influence and persuasion techniques can be helpful in reducing vaccine hesitancy. So here the role of political leaders, administrators, civil servants, doctors, all they should be, let's say, the role models here. They should lead by themselves taking vaccines here, so that the other people will be taking that vaccine, and there is reducing of this vaccine hesitancy. Fine. So from ethics perspective, this syllabus part, social influence and persuasion. Okay. Now from prelims perspective, specific articles, leopard population tracking gets new approach. So we have to understand that scientists have developed the new model, spatial mark recite. Okay, spatial mark recite model. This method is going to be useful to calculate the population. Earlier what used to happen is scientists were not able to discern between rosettes and melanistic leopards. Okay, what is rosettes and what is melanistic leopards? First of all, let us try to understand that. So the tiger like prints here on the skin, this is called as a rosette. Okay, so these rosettes leopards look like the tiger here, and it is they are having this distinct prints. Each and every leopard has this distinct, we can say that, prints of rosettes, and that's why it is we are able to use that particular feature for understanding the population of rosette leopards through camera trapping. However, when the camera traps the melanistic leopard, which is having the dark color here, Okay, for example, here they are locally sometimes known as black leopards or black panther or gongs in Assamese. So through camera traps, they are not able to, let's say, understand which one was the particular leopard and the other leopard, we will say that. So it made difficult whenever there is combination of this population is there in protected areas. Okay, so actual number of calculation here was not able to let's say understand by the scientist. So now spatial mark recite model, this is now being helpful here to make it easier to assess the population status of leopard for informed conservation measures by applying the conventional camera trapping method. So in addition to this camera trapping method, this spatial mark recite model, so simulation model actually it is, so it is going to be used for calculating population of rosettes as well as melanistic leopards. Now from let's say prelims perspective, specifically the basic information about Indian leopard. This is also called as having scientific name Panthera pardus fusca, Indian leopard. It is widely distributed on Indian subcontinent, found almost everywhere, even in Himalayan region as well as we can say peninsular region. Now the threats to Indian leopard: habitat loss, fragmentation, poaching for skin and body parts, and the wildlife conflicting situations that happen, right? So many times it is in news that leopard entering into human habitations, right? So at present the number is 12,852 leopards, and earlier calculation in 2014, this is 2018 calculation, along with tiger census, leopard census was also carried out. This is 60% increase, and the states having highest population: MP, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Okay, so MP there is 3,421 highest population. The conservation status, which is very much important for our examination, prelims examination: IUCN Red List vulnerable, Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1 highest protection given under Wildlife Protection Act, legal protection, and CITES. So Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES. This convention maintains Appendix 1 and Appendix 2. So in Appendix 1 highest protection is given here, right? So in Appendix 1 this is included here. So conservation status is very much important for prelims examination. Now next article here: Sri Lanka considering India's grant instead of China project. So in earlier this month we had covered this news from the Hindu, and it had said that the Sri Lankan cabinet cleared the project to install hybrid renewable energy systems in 3 of the islands located in Park Bay, 50 kilometers off Tamil Nadu coast. Okay, so which are these 3 islands? Naina Tivu, Deft Island, and Annalai Tivu. Okay, so let us try to locate them. So you can see here on this map, and let us try to locate them. Okay, so here we have Naina Tivu, or first Delf Island, which is very much near to Tamil Nadu coast. So this is the zoomed photo of this Jaffna plateau region here, which is very much near to this Tamil Nadu border here. Okay, so Delf, which are also called as Nedan Tivu, then Nainan Tivu, this is the island, and Annalai Tivu, this is the island. Okay, so these 3 islands have been chosen for Chinese investment by Sri Lankan government earlier. Now India has offered grant of $12 million to execute it, and Sri Lankan government is now going to consider that India has raised the security concern for such kind of Chinese investment near its maritime border, and therefore now Sri Lankan government may consider the grant provided by India also for such kind of investment in that region. So if we go to the background part, this Jaffna plateau region is largely habitated by Tamilian population, Tamilian minority of Sri Lanka, and there are ancestral links with India, Tamil population. At the same time, we have to understand when there was civil war in Sri Lanka, many such people from this region fled to India in Tamil Nadu, and now they have been rehabilitated again on this Jaffna plateau. For development of this Jaffna plateau, the Indian government has made earlier also many such investment for rebuilding or the housing projects, and such kind of projects have been undertaken by Indian government in that Jaffna plateau for Tamilian minority population in that region. Okay, so location wise, from geography part, you need to know the location of these three islands. There can be question like these islands sometimes in news, or we can say recently in news, are related to or are located where. So there can be option like near Park State or near the Tamil Nadu border. Okay, so these are Sri Lankan islands. Or there can be question like Alanantivu, Mnainantivu or Nenduntivu are. So there can be option. These are Sri Lankan islands, islands in Andaman Nicobar, islands of Maldives, islands of Lakshadweep. So you need to know that they are islands of Sri Lanka in Jaffna Plateau. Right. So what kind of question can be asked that we are talking about here? At the same time, this should be the follow for India-Sri Lanka bilateral relations for men's purpose. So try to have certain developments as a follow-up in international relations, bilateral relations between India and Sri Lanka. Fine. So some of the important captions and quotations from today's articles. Yes. So first article here, it is talking about health for all, right? So there can be essay, health for all. So you can write this for use of technology for ensuring health services. Then here it is freedom of speech and expression. It is talking about giving preference to freedom of speech is important, and it is not antithesis of security of state, but it is one of its key facilitator it is talking about. Okay, so freedom of speech. So this comes under polity part, GS2 as well as essay. Freedom of speech, this freedom of speech and expression is quite a time in news for last 1.5 year now. There can be surely essay based on this freedom of speech and expression. Then infodemic around the vaccine. So here it is talking about vaccine hesitancy. So whenever we are having any essay on COVID-19, so you can mention this statement here, infodemic and vaccine hesitancy. Fine, fake news. So you can use all these captions and quotations here for all these topics. Fine. So these were important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Try to take input, try to make notes for your prelims developments, men's related developments accordingly, and revise them on the daily basis. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया होगा तो इसको लाइक कीजिए, कमेंट कीजिए और शेयर कीजिए आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ में, and surely subscribe to our channel so as to receive these videos on the daily basis. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of men's related issues and articles is done by Ansari sir and team, wherein in-depth analysis is done and the perspective is built on those issues. So for further information on that particular batch, you can contact Lukman IAS. Thank you.